to Pilates. Today you're going to need a chair because we're going to be doing some advanced exercises in standing that require a little bit of balance, as well as some arm exercises utilizing the chair. So the first thing we are going to be doing is a little bit of a stretch. So we're going to take our chair and turn it around. The movement that we're going to be doing is planting our heels hip width apart, pushing our bottom back and straightening through our back. Have your legs as close to the chair as you feel comfortable. The closer you are to the chair, the more you're going to have to sit back into the stretch. The further away your feet are, the lighter that stretch will be there. So we're just coming in and out of that stretch. You should feel this down the back of your legs and also up through your shoulders here, a little bit across the lower back as we stretch out. We're going to extend that stretch. We're going to stay here at our low point, taking our leg behind, and we're going to lift that leg. That should strengthen the stretch on the leg you're standing on, taking that back to the ground and alternating sides. Trying hard to keep your hips nice and still so you're not twisting side to side. We're going to keep alternating there, so we end up doing about 3 to 4 to either side. Nice deep stretch for that leg you're standing on. And coming back up. This time what we're going to be doing is that exact movement but starting from a standing position. So you're reaching for the chair in front as your back leg moves up into the air. You want to keep a straight line from your heel through to the top of your head. So reaching to touch the chair in front and lengthen through the back leg. We're going to do 6 on one side and then we'll change to the other side. Keeping those hips level so you're not letting that hip rotate up towards the roof. One more here. And changing sides. Keeping those hips nice and flat as you rock forward and that heel staying in line with the head, so you're creating that long line down the body. And relax. This time we're going to be going without the chair. If you need the chair for balance, you can bring that to the side so that your movement becomes holding the chair and opening up. If your balance is going pretty well, we can go without that. So we are doing 6 to either side. We are opening up. And taking that to the other side. be sitting on our chair now. So we're going to be turning that around, taking a seat on our chair. The first movement we are going to be doing is for our arms. So hands on the chair. So you can see I've got it on either side with my fingertips going over the edge. I'm taking my bottom off the edge of the chair, rolling my shoulders back to stay nice and tall there, bending through the elbows and pushing back through. The more advanced version, you can take your legs out to be straight. The easier you would like it to be, the more pressure you just put through your feet. The harder you want it to be, the more pressure you put through your hands. And we're just continuing to keep the chest open, bend and straighten through the elbows to push the chest up as we're in front of the chair. Taking your seat back on the chair, you're going to let your legs go nice and wide and fold forward towards the ground so you can feel that stretching out the lower back. Should feel a bit of a stretch through the groin, stretch across the back. If you want to get a bit more stretch through the back, you can add a bit of a rotation in when you reach for your opposite foot with one hand. And changing sides. We're going to come back into a second set of our small dips there. So hands on the side of the chair, taking your feet away. You've got your advanced version with your legs straight, your easier version with your feet bent, knees bent, and taking as much weight as you are comfortable with through the hands, leaving the rest on the feet. Remember to keep the chest nice and open. You're trying to drop the tailbone straight to the ground and push straight back up through the arms. We've got one more, and taking a seat again. This time we're going to take our elbow up towards the sky, bend our arm back, holding onto our elbow to get that stretch down the side of the arm into the side of the chest. If you want to extend that, you can lean across. And taking it back the other way. So arm up, bend the hand behind the neck, hold on to the elbow, and if you want to extend the stretch, you can move your body across. Taking our hands back, this time we're going to be doing an exercise for our hamstrings. So we have a few levels here. The first level, you're going to be on your hands and you're not too far away from the seat, so your bottom is just off the edge. Our next level, you're going to take that all the way away and hold that really strong position here. And our final level, you're actually going to be on your elbows, holding that position here. Our movement will be of the legs. So the idea is, in your position, you're going to be lifting and lowering. You're just going to keep alternating legs. You can choose to do what I'm doing, which is our A-skip position, or you can go into a straight leg raise and just lift the leg as high as you feel comfortable. So either way, we'll be executing the exercise. Just try and strengthen the hamstring. It's important to keep that nice straight body. Step back in and take a rest. Take your leg out nice and straight and lean forward towards that toe. You just want to be sitting on the edge of the chair to get that stretch there. And alternating sides. going to go through one more set of that hamstring exercise. So taking your feet out to whatever level that you felt comfortable there. And we're going for that leg lift, keeping a nice straight line between the heel on the ground and your shoulders and head. So you're working hard through the back chain there to keep you up nice and tall. Remember to roll your shoulders back, to keep your chest open and proud, to stay strong through that section. And coming in to relax, we're going to be standing up and stepping into a hip flexor lunge. So take that heel to the ground, our knee to the ground, tuck the tailbone under and stay nice and tall. If you want to add to that stretch, you can open through the arm and reach across the body. So you can feel that all through the front of the thigh, the front of the hip. And changing sides. Knee on the ground, looking at 90 degrees and 90 degrees at either knee, tucking the tailbone under, taking the arm to the roof, and if you want to extend that stretch, reach across the body so you can feel that all through the front of the thigh and front of the hip. Going to come back into standing for our final exercise in standing here today. We're going to be doing a Bulgarian lunge. So the idea is your back foot wants to be on the chair. You can have either your foot resting or your toes. You want to step your foot far enough away that we can come down quite comfortably into this position and back up. So it's just an advanced version of a lunge. We're getting quite a strong stretch through the back leg if you are tight there. And we're working on our balance and the strength of that front leg. So we're going to come down for 10. And alternating sides. Taking your foot back onto the chair, either resting with your foot or your toes. Keeping our chest nice and tall, we're taking ourselves down for 10. And relaxing. We'll finish with the chair for today, so we can move that out of the way. We're going to bring ourselves down into a 4-point kneel position, and we're going to start with a thread the needle just to open up around our chest. So you're taking that hand underneath, reaching as far as you can, and then opening that up to the roof, feeling that stretch around the rib cage. We're going to do 6 in total to either side. Last one here. And changing sides. Reaching under as far as you can to get that stretch and opening the fingertips to the roof. Remember 6 to either side. Good. Staying in our 4-point kneel position now, we're going to take our leg nice and straight. We're going to hold that straight position and we're going to do pulses here. So we're going to lift our heel to in line with our bottom and take it back to the ground. We're going to be doing that nice and quick and holding that position. Remember to hold your neutral spine, work hard around the abdominals so that you're not bouncing as the leg moves up and down. Got 10 more seconds here. Keep drawing that belly button in. And relax. Take your opposite leg nice and straight. Hold that neutral spine position, so we want to be flat across your pelvis, drawing the bottom of the rib cage in so we can feel our core is on. Holding that position and pulsing away. So as quick as you can comfortably while still maintaining a really nice stable base in our 4-point kneel position. We have about 15 more seconds. And relax. We're going to go for an advanced version this time, so your opposite arm will be floating out in front, and so the same pulsing applies to both arm and leg as we move through. If you feel like the level 1 was hard enough for you, you can stay there. So stretching out arm, stretching out leg, and pulsing away. And relax. Taking that back to the other side now. Straight arm, straight leg, and pulsing away. Nice long lines. And relax. We're going to be relaxing now into a glute stretch. So bring that knee in between your hands and slide your back leg back, holding through that position. If you want to change that stretch, you can pull the foot further around and come back in over the top of the hip. So it just changes where that stretch is felt through the glute. And changing sides. So bring that knee up. You can sit straight over the top of the leg, or again, you can bring that foot around and then sit back over the top of the hip, just to change where that stretch is felt. We're going to relax out of that stretch and move on to our back. On our back here, we're going to start with just some normal bridges. So our heels are in line with our bottom. We're thinking of keeping a neutral spine from the hip all the way to the shoulder. So to do that, we want our tailbone nice and flat on the ground, a small curve in our lumbar spine, and our rib cage tucked in so that we can feel our abdominals hold. You can have your arms on the ground for support or up here in the air, but either way, roll the shoulders back to connect with the ground so your chest is nice and open. We're holding that neutral spine, Connecting our heels with the ground and pushing nice and strong to push the heels into the hips into the air, coming down to touch the tailbone and push back up. You want to really think of engaging and squeezing the glutes as you come up and feeling like the movement is starting there. So the movement is starting with the press forward of the pelvis. So not a tucking under, but a press straight up towards the roof, as if you're trying to push your pubic bone straight through to touch the ceiling. Have a think about where in your feet the pressure is. We want to be keeping the pressure on the ball of the foot and the heel. So you don't want all of that pressure going through to the outside of the foot. You want to make sure that that big toe still has a lot of the pressure moving through it. Thinking about when you walk, when you run, you roll through the foot from the heel to the big toe so that you can get a really good push off. If you're moving through the outside of your foot, we're not getting quite the same push off. You'll be wasting a little bit of energy and just opening yourself up to some different injuries. So we want to focus as we do these exercises that we're encouraging that movement behavior of rolling from the heel through to the big toe. We're going to take our feet nice and wide now just to change where that pressure is going in our glutes. So you want to make sure that the knees are now following the lines of the toes and the toes are pointing out at a slight angle. So that should make you feel like your thighs are kind of rolling out and staying quite open, and that should bring the glutes right in the inside pocket, or the backside pocket should be squeezing nice and hard as you push up. The same concept applies of feeling like you're pushing that pubic bone through to the roof, coming back to touch the ground, holding your neutral spine position so our core is on as we go up and down here. It's a bit harder in this position, but you still want to be thinking about holding the weight onto the ball of the foot or the big toe, even as the knees are following out across the toes. So you've got that twisting out sensation at the thighs and that falling into the ball of the foot sensation on the ground. And you're pushing that pelvis up in a nice straight line. So you're not tucking and you're not arching the back. Remember not to overlift. You want to be avoiding a pinch in the lower back. You're just pushing the pelvis to be level with the rest of the spine. And relaxing, taking ankle over knee and bringing that knee in towards your chest. And going the other way. Ankle over knee, bring that knee in towards the chest. We're going to finish off today with a progression of hundreds. So hundreds being the pulsing of our arms as we hold an abdominal position. We're going to start easy and work our way into it. So our first one we're going to do is coming into abdominal prep with our heels on the ground. Our abdominal prep is arms down by our side, just in line with the thigh, tucking the chin to your chest, just enough to lift the shoulder blades off the ground, holding in that position, and we're going to pulse away. Think about making sure that you can maintain your abdominal position and you're not bloating out there or not arching your back, you can hold through that position. Make sure we can still keep breathing away. If you're finding that this is a lot of pressure on your neck, your alternative is to keep your head on the ground and lift your legs up here. Otherwise, we are all in that abdominal prep position. And relax. We're going to bring ourselves up into tabletop position now. So knee floats on top of the hip, follow through with the opposite leg. Make sure you've got that tailbone flat on the ground and a small curve in your lumbar spine, and the rib cage is sinking down so we engage our abdominals. We're going to come up again into our abdominal prep position. We're going to hold and pulse away. If this is hard on your neck, you can hold your abdominal prep by holding your head, and we can alternate movement of the legs here instead of the pulsing of the arms. If you're okay, you're here with me, holding that tabletop position, holding your abdominal prep position, and pulsing away for our hundreds. Keep breathing. Keep your neutral spine position. And bring knees to chest. Let your head back on the ground and just rock slightly with your legs coming towards your chest, just to open up the lower back there. If that level there was hard enough for you, you can stay there. We've got one more level that we're going to go into now. We're going to start in our tabletop position and our abdominal prep. We're then going to push away for a double leg stretch. The further your legs are away from the body or towards the ground, the harder that is for your abdominals. So if you stay here and just point your legs to the roof, that's your easiest position in a double leg stretch. If your legs are all the way out here towards the ground, that is going to be the hardest position for your abdominals. So abdominal prep, double leg stretch, and pulsing away. You want to keep breathing. And relax. Just take the arms out wide and let your knees rock to either side, just to take some tension out of your back after that abdominal workout. I hope you enjoyed today's workout, and I hope to see you again.